Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to Business. The Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has welcomed the agreement by countries in the West African sub-region to a $1.7 tariff for each standard cubic feet of gas transported to Ghana. According to Executive Director of ACEP, Benjamin Boakye, the rate is laudable and will reduce the burden on power production within the sub-region. The West African Gas Power Authority last week settled the tariff on the tariff to be charged by the West Africa Gas Power Company. There's more in this report.
Ghana has agreed to consider the new tariff proposal by the West African Gas Pipeline Authority for the sub-region. The rate, which has been adjusted downwards from $5 to $1.7 per standard cubic feet, has been considered after a series of deliberations between energy ministers from the West African sub-region. Initially, Energy Minister Peter Amewo urged the West African Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, to consider $1 for each standard cubic feet of gas transported to Ghana, a price he termed as very competitive. Executive Director of the African Center for Energy Policy, Benjamin Boakye, said the reduction should help in making power available for less.
Anybody, it's not even just government, anybody going to the market to buy any product, you want the cheapest price possible. So government wanted to negotiate a cheaper price for gas transportation. And if you have a cheaper transportation tariff, that also influences how much you can charge even for power that is generated and any other industry that is using the gas. So you don't really even need a justification. What you need is to make sure that you get the cheapest price possible, for transporting gas. And I think that's what has really delayed, the discussion or the negotiation. But it is good to note that at least from the initial discussion of about $5 thereabout, they pushed it to $3, and now it's 1.7, which has been signed. So that is good for us, and it ensures that we do not compound the power challenges, because once the price is so high, it has to be fed into the tariff.
Unavailability of another infrastructure for gas transportation within the sub-region has left Ghana with no option than to negotiate with WAPCO.
And the consumers will have to pay for it. Already the gas is expensive. Our gas is expensive. So if you are paying so much to transport it, that also becomes an extra cost burden that has been borne by the consumer. So it's a workable figure to work with now. We don't have any competition. There's only one pipeline, so we can't even look at competition. It's not. There's no other competition, and that's what even dragged it. If we had two pipelines, then the race to the bottom could have emerged.
The new tariff is expected to take effect in 2019.
Now, some members of the fishing community at Jamestown here in Accra are calling for proper resettlement following the demolition of buildings along the coast to make way for the establishment of a $50 million fishing port complex. So far, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development says it is confident of creating about 1,000 jobs upon completion of this ultra-modern facility. Charles Aite has been engaging some residents who said their livelihoods have been affected as a result of the project.
A previously densely populated area of the fisherfolk. Now, just look behind me. The various fisherfolk that we used to interact with here at this premise have been moved all the way back to the other side ahead of the construction of a $50 million fish port complex. Of course, this is going to, according to government, create over 1,000 jobs for these individuals. We get to speak to them about what this means to them and, of course, their concerns so far when it comes to resettlement claims.
It's a busy fishing day here at Jamestown. Fishermen mending their nets after the day's catch. Some of them tell me even though they welcome the establishment of the Jamestown Fishing Harbour, they expect a proper resettlement plan. Jamestown is a densely populated area with fishmongers awaiting fish expeditions for their business. They tell Joy Business failure to resettle them properly could endanger their livelihood.
Fine. No water, no home, I'm going to walk le, la one tie qua, major cama, me, ba, no one echo. time ya wonye wotuni ni wokwe wo bi ona ka so woni wo be ko ni wata ewa hawo
bo ne bo amode ne ta ko nya wo le ke lo ye na ke wa ho ko shika shwe wo kra ingle ba ju
abone na ama ke wo ke abone na ama enwo wo na no kwale abona ama enwo wo na bi ne wota waka wa mefe wota wo dangma anu kwale yake wo won pa fa na ta wo ko na ka wa pete ka wo lefe ko ni no fe na ta wo nefe be wo no ni pe no bi won bi sole mo wo hala ke ni mo hala wale ni gba fi gba no ne ba tso ne ba na sika ne ka ba sa abone ha wo nefe ha wo pa le fai.
The Fishing Port project is in 3 major components, which involves 100,000 cubic meters dredging harbour basin and shipping channels. The second component involves the construction of about 1,200-meter hydraulic structures comprising berths, seawall and a breakwater. But fisherfolk fear the motive for its establishment could be defeated if the applied are not considered.
Already we do know the establishment of the Jamestown Fishing Port Harbour is yet to begin, but most of these fisherfolk here at Jamestown say much more needs to be done to improve their livelihoods and that of their loved ones. For Joy Business, I'm Charles Aite reporting.
From that, 4 municipalities and districts in the Ashanti region have received support from Atrema Kwangoma Rural Bank for the upcoming Farmers' Day. The 4 areas which are within the bank's catchment area include Amansia West, Atrema Kwangoma districts, as well as the Kwadaso and Old Tafo municipal assemblies. Ohimin Teria has more in this report.
The farming tools and household items will go to deserving farmers in their respective areas in recognition of their contribution to the national economy. Patrick Owusu is board chairman of Atrema Kwangoma Rural Bank.
We have a lot of farmers as our plantains, which we help to expand their farms, maintain their farms on year-by-year basis. So once a rural bank, we are in good business with most of our farmers. We know without them, there will be no food. Without food, nobody can go about his normal duty. You know, it is a very serious or difficult enterprise to be a farmer in Ghana because of the subsistence nature of it. So we have to do everything possible to encourage those who are in agribusiness to do it and do it big time, so that the government agenda, agriculture agenda, food for planting for food and jobs will be successful. So
Kwadaso Municipal Director of Agriculture, John Ankoma Kurantin, spoke for all the beneficiary institutions.
Farmers are such that they are, when they are given awards, it really boosts them. It brings competition to other farmers who look unto those farmers who are awarded. And when they see that, they also try and then intensify the work that they're doing. So it is really going to bring competition among farmers, and then it will also at least raise their standard of living too when they receive these awards.
From Kumasi, for Joy Business Report, Ohimin Teria report.
And that's all we have for you in business tonight on Joy News Prime. Many thanks for watching, but for more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. Have a good evening.